Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing / reacting, well I've already seen this many times, talking about the trailer for the finale of Good Omens. I don't recall if I've ever talked about Good Omens before on this channel. I'm sure I have, but if you are a recurring viewer, you're probably like, I don't remember because it's been forever since I've done anything with my channel. Thank you so much if you are a recurring viewer. Where have I been? I do not know. Times is crazy. I'm mainly filming this video for nostalgia. Right now I'm living in bliss. We all are. As of me filming, we are living in a world pre-ending of Good Omens. And in a week from now, that world will not exist. I see the mushroom cloud on the horizon, and I know that soon I shall be no more, instead replaced with a lonely, depressed version of myself, for I have no more Good Omens to ever look forward to. Thanks for that, by the way, Neil Gaiman. Fuck you. Honestly, fuck you. Here I was, enjoying a celebrity's, work. Enjoying his input on culture and life, thinking la-di-do-da-da. No. Instead, I got fucked in my face like usual. And of course, Good Omens being cut short. I mean, who knows how much we could have gotten. At least a full ending season, maybe even more seasons. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Not the reality we live in, thanks to some perv, sexual assaultist. And of course, what I'm saying may sound like I believe the premature ending of Good Omens is the worst consequence of this. Obviously, the women traumatized and or affected by him is a much worse reality. But yeah, let us dive in, shall we?
Right, okay. We've known each other a long time. I could always rely on you. You could always rely on me. We're a team. We don't need heaven, we don't need hell. Just be an us.
Oh, truly, nothing lasts forever.
Jennifer, ready to start? Next step, the great.
It is very interesting that they started the trailer with the ending of season 2. Like, what? When I first saw this, I thought this was a fake trailer because usually only fan-made trailers reuse footage from like already existing seasons. So I was shocked to see that they were doing that for this. And I saw something funny that said, Amazon felt the need to refresh our memories of the ending of season 2 as if we'd forget, which is very true. Like, hello. I've thought about that scene, the confession scene, every day for the past 2 years. So didn't need reminding. And it also made me not believe this was a real trailer until I got to the new footage. And I was like, okay then. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting that they'd do that. I think it's very clear then, though, that they did that because I'm sure Crowley and Aziraphale's relationship is going to be maybe the most important thing going on in this season. So obviously it's related to what we need to know, but still a little odd.
Claire, we call it the second coming.
I was thinking we might try something a little more upbeat. Oh, look out. Here comes universal happiness.
And tell them it's the end times.
Or not.
Something's wrong.
Before we get to this a little bit, I do find it very interesting how much authority Aziraphale has to have, like how much he seems to actually have here. He is in charge, right? But, Gabriel was never really calling the shots. He was only following orders. from his superior, right, i.e. God. So the fact that Aziraphale seems to think he can change things is interesting. Because he was following orders from Gabriel, but where did those orders come from? Like, Gabriel never really had control of the situation. He was just doing what he was supposed to do for the great plan, as of season 1. And I'm not really sure. It does not seem like the majority of the angels are on Aziraphale's side. So maybe he gives orders to not, have the second coming, which I'm under the impression means the end of the world again. Maybe the other angels just don't listen, aside from, Muriel. I find that very interesting. And this scene is very, this part of the trailer threw me for a loop a little bit, and it still kind of does.
What are you doing there? You know you are not allowed up here!
That seems to be a flashback. I didn't realize his wardrobe was, of robes and not of his current attire. So this seems to be a flashback. Many have speculated a pre-fall flashback, i.e., maybe it's Crowley asking damn fool questions, right? I feel like that's the obvious answer. I mean, it's so obvious it must be him, but then it's too obvious. You know what I mean? So it might be somebody else. And I think the Metatron did say that bit at the end of season 2 when Crowley did not go with Aziraphale. And the Metatron said that maybe it was for the best. Because that little glare that the Metatron gives Crowley, it scares me every time I watch that scene in season 2. But it makes me think, is he evil? Does he hate Crowley and or demons? Is he evil, or just maybe he doesn't like Crowley specifically, but he's not evil? I don't know. But with that scene, it is very likely Crowley. But to me, I'm thinking, maybe it's not, because that's too obvious. And then again, it cannot be Crowley, because Crowley didn't exist pre-fall. It was some other angel by some name that I have no idea what it would be. So that's very interesting. I do hope, obviously it's a flashback, and that gives me hope, because there's so little left, and I'd love to see flashbacks. I'd love to see Crowley and Aziraphale throughout more and all of history and all these things. There's so much I wanted to see, and with such little time. So having flashbacks, clearly being a part of the finale, makes me feel better, definitely.
Things are just disappearing.
Where's Jesus?
Earth. They've lost him.
It's all gone bonkers! Now it's our time!
Can I help you?
That's very interesting. Also, who's this guy? Like, who's he supposed to be? Obviously, he's important. Maybe he's a demon. He's in black. No idea. I don't think I've seen much talk of him, so we'll see. But it is interesting seeing Jesus. I think I'm fairly certain in the first season, in that one little scene of his crucifixion, which jump scares me every time. Like, who wants to watch that? He's white, and so I'm fairly certain. And if I'm wrong, that's on me. But if I'm right, then I'm very glad they changed that. And I'm very, very excited to see Jesus in this. I'm hoping that more Jesus means more God. Especially with the Metatron. Like, eventually, we're just climbing the ranks. We gotta get to the big G. Maybe she'll give us some explanations. I'm hoping. There's that fun theory that's been going around for a very long time that God had the great plan for humanity and then witnessed Crowley and Aziraphale on Earth and decided to change it up just to, fangirl over the two of them falling in love with each other. I think that's a very fun theory, and I've taken it as canon up until right now, where I'm realizing probably not. I personally get the impression that in Good Omens, God is a prankster, doesn't give explanations, does what she wants, made, had humans believe dinosaurs were a thing, you know what I mean? So I think God is definitely on Aziraphale and Crowley's side. And I'm hoping we can see that. I don't think we will, actually, because I feel like that'll go against the whole characterization of God that I have in my mind. So either I'm completely wrong about everything, or, I don't know, I'm wrong only a little bit. But yes, having Jesus, it's very interesting that Aziraphale is obviously against the second coming because I'm under the impression that means the end of the world, which he does not want, even though he's not living on Earth anymore. However, we do see Jesus return to Earth. We just saw that happen just now. So either he was supposed to be reborn, or maybe just him going down to Earth ignites everything anyway. You know what I mean? Because he did return to Earth. We did just see that, so that'd be interesting to see. And I'm fascinated with how Jesus looks. His wardrobe and his demeanor. He seems unsure or shy or meek even. Which, I don't know, when I think of Jesus from the Bible, I think of, brave, honest, kind. Like, maybe not someone who just, slouches over in shyness, which is who I'm seeing right now. So maybe that's only because Jesus is in some way, if not entirely against his second coming. And, he's more confident outside of, those scenes or not. But his outfit's also very interesting. They very much went out of their way to conceal his hands, which I thought were mean. This might sound a little weird, but I would like to see his scars, assuming he has them. Personally. I don't know. Not in a weird way, but I just kind of do, I don't know. I don't know what makes me weird or not. I just do like when that's depicted in works with him. And I think that, he covers his hands almost completely, which I take to mean some sort of trauma, obviously, from where they came from, and looking at him's too hurtful, and he, hides them. I'm sure that's the case. But having said that, again, that kind of a little bit goes back into the sort of shy person I'm seeing, which I'm a little shocked with. But who knows? I mean, it's like what, only a few seconds with him, and he doesn't even talk. Like, I'm very excited to see him talk, voice his opinion, do anything, right? Why did he go to Earth? Like, I don't know. I have so many questions. And not even to mention the Book of Life. Someone has the Book of Life, and I'm assuming it's just erasing stuff. But also, how would the angels know? Because if something or someone's erased from the Book of Life, they never would have existed. Would heaven know that happened, or would they just not know that an erased thing ever existed to be erased? I'm not sure. Also, I'm realizing that those two things might not be connected, but I guess they kind of have to be. Like, what else would be going on? So that's very interesting. Maybe, I don't know, I have a feeling Jesus has his own plan, and he's going down to Earth to do his own thing and figure out his own plan, figuring out where the Book of Life is. Or maybe he has the Book of Life because it's essential for the apocalypse / his second coming. But why would things just disappear? Yeah, lots of questions. I don't know.
Why don't you ask your friend to help?
Really?
And with Crowley right here, I think gives, another sort of character, right? I just spoke of Jesus and his trauma with his, I don't know, scars from the nails in the, yeah. And we see Crowley here. He obviously has other options. He does not have to be sleeping on the concrete outside. Even if he didn't get his flat back, which I'm sure he did, he could live in his car. I'm sure he could go into the bookshop. I'm sure he can. Muriel would let him in. He could just go in himself. I'm sure that's a possibility. I think that he's, personally, I think he's out in the alley to, I would say, like, part of it is he doesn't want to leave the bookshop completely because he's just not ready for that, and he doesn't want to let go yet, but he also can't go inside because that's too painful, so he's stuck in this sort of in-between. And also, maybe, you know, it sucks sleeping outside on the concrete like that, so maybe doing so validates his pain, right? So I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a parallel between, you know, Jesus concealing his hands, from what I'm theorizing being the at least emotional trauma, really, and Crowley here also having a lot of pain and dealing with that in his own way, emotional pain. So I think that's very interesting because, yeah, I don't think sleeping in the alley is his only option. I think that's on purpose on his part.
I've come to help you, Eddie. Do you want an apology from me?
You could have avoided all this.
I'm also excited for that scene, right? Like their first conversation together again. Well, you know, I'm so excited. I'm envisioning Aziraphale maybe metaphorically on his knees, begging for forgiveness. But there is something to be said about, you know, Crowley needs Aziraphale needs Crowley's help in whatever his plan is, I'm sure. And for him to return to Crowley because he needs help instead of returning to Crowley because he's sorry, I think there's a lot to say about that. And also, I have another point, but I'll save it for a second from now. But yes, I'm very excited to see obviously everyone's excited to see that. Their reunion.
I'll just come with me.
How could we have been happy knowing that we were leaving all these people to goodness knows what awfulness?
Sir.
And that's interesting too. Because either he's referring to their situation right now. Because how would Crowley know that? Like, obviously, at the end of season 1, Crowley says that there's likely going to be another big one. Another fight, another, you know, humanity-threatening event. And was he just going to give up on that whenever it happened? Or does he know that it's going to happen because of Aziraphale? Maybe Aziraphale says, hey, this is what's happening, and Crowley still doesn't care. Because why would he? Right? I think he's, you know, in his right to be upset and not to care. Or was he referring to season 1, where he wanted to leave behind humanity then? It's very interesting to see that I've noticed Crowley and Aziraphale, you know, go through their enjoyment of humanity very differently. With Aziraphale, it's the people, it's, you know, the life of a human. He runs a store, and he has a barber, and he, you know, has a tenant, and all these things, right? Like, all this culture that he loves food, he loves music, all these things. I mean, even dancing, which angels don't apparently do. But with Crowley, he mainly, not exclusively, but mainly enjoys humanity through Aziraphale's enjoyment. They've done many, you know, human things together, going to see plays or eating or, I don't know, performing magic on stage. But Crowley doesn't, he's not jumping to participate. He doesn't eat, really. He drinks, but I think that's just because he likes being drunk more than he likes the ritual. So I think he enjoys humanity through Aziraphale a lot. And without Aziraphale, I think A, he's too heartbroken and depressed to care, but B, humanity's not worth saving if he can't therefore have Aziraphale to experience humanity through. So I think that's very interesting as to why Crowley would suddenly be okay with giving up on humanity in this new era. Or he could just be like, heartbroken and emo about it, but I like my theory more.
Do you have any idea where the Book of Life might be?
Of course I don't.
And that part's interesting too, where that particularly piqued my interest, where we see Muriel kind of in charge of this, meeting, interrogation, interview. I think it's because maybe, Aziraphale said that thing about Crowley being his second in command, right? And without Crowley, I would assume that would have been Michael. But maybe he promoted Muriel, or maybe that's just Muriel's job. It doesn't seem like people, the angels, really respect or appreciate Muriel any more than they did in the last season. But I think that's very interesting to notice that out of all the people, Muriel was in charge of that, or angels. That would be very interesting, because if Muriel is Aziraphale's second in command, that means Michael got a demotion, which would be pretty funny. But yeah, now that we're on this frame, I was going to talk about the wardrobe that we're seeing here. Firstly, there's Crowley with his new and improved angel disguise, which is interesting that he would need one. I don't know. If he's there and Aziraphale knows he's there, I'm assuming he would. He wouldn't need a disguise. He could just do whatever he wants, I'm assuming. But I saw a few theories that the reason his disguise is different this time is one of two reasons. One being he wanted to impress Aziraphale with a flashier, sexier angel disguise, which this one's very much sexier compared to last one's. Or two, that he was more than willing to use his old disguise, but Aziraphale thought it to be too unfashionable and made him change. But I do love the little whites in his hair. That is so fascinating to me, because on the one hand, they represent his horns that he sometimes has in his hair. But on the other hand, his hair is super important to his expression, his self-expression. Aziraphale's hair is pretty much the same for the most part throughout all of humanity, all of history. But Crowley's is, he changes it all the time, and I think having the white in his red hair could potentially be symbolic of, maybe the angel in him, right? Not Aziraphale, obviously, the angel he was before the fall, resurfacing a bit. I doubt fully, but I'll get into that sort of how I think the ending will end in a bit. But then we have Aziraphale on the other side, who is in this sad, blue-gray, cold suit. And it's very, on par with Heaven, but so is his previous outfit. Mainly, this is what we saw Gabriel in, these colors, when he was in Heaven. But, so to me, I suppose the role, that's just the color you wear, right? Because there was that reference to quote-unquote appropriate clothing in season 2 when we see Gabriel's trial. So I guess this is appropriate clothing for Aziraphale's role, but he looks so out of place in it. I don't think he likes it at all. I think it's very much symbolic of the cold political aspect of Heaven being, do good on earth, win the great war, Heaven reign supreme, and not, the humanity of Aziraphale, his warm previous clothing, right? Like, heaven really doesn't actually care about humanity at all. They only care about sticking it to hell. And so I think that's very apparent in Aziraphale's new outfit, and I hope it gets changed back because I don't like it on him at all. Yeah, and I don't think he likes it very much either. But obviously on purpose, very telling, very symbolic. But yeah, he just doesn't look comfortable in it.
Angel, time to go.
You clearly can't do this on your own.
Ooh, and that sexy little, like, what's going on there? I'm just saying.
How fast did you say this goes? Crowley, this is bigger than you and me.
You still don't get it, do you? You can't?
And with, I'm just talking out loud here, but with seeing, am I the only one that whenever I see Michael Sheen and David Tennant's names in the credits and I see which order they go in, I think of that part in Staged when they're arguing about the order of their names in the credits. That's just me.
Change anything.
I was trying to do the right thing.
Oh my god. Wait.
You and me.
You still don't get it, do you? You can't change anything.
I was trying to do the right thing.
This scene makes me want to poop my pants. This shot, I mean. I'm so scared. Not scared as in I'm worried it's going to be bad. I'm just anxious and excited, and I have all this, like, unease, this suspension building up in me from this single frame. And it's, there's a pit in my stomach, man. I'm terrified. Talking a bit earlier about how Crowley was just saying that Aziraphale can't change anything. I'm assuming that means in regards to this season, despite Aziraphale, his best efforts, he can't change anything. Crowley, I'm assuming, is talking more so on God will do what she wants, and, that's just it. There's no point in fighting back, which, again, is interesting because he did fight back during season 1. I mean, there were obviously times where he was like, well, let's just give up and run away. Because, again, like, without... He obviously, holds Aziraphale to a higher importance than humanity. And Aziraphale, I think, is the other way around a little bit, at least as of pre-season 3. So either they're referring to, I don't know, either that dialogue happens in the beginning, and, Aziraphale's plan didn't work to do whatever, and he's learning that heaven still won't listen to him despite his promotion. Or I guess it might be happening towards the end, and which I hope not. See, this is I'll talk about this now. What I do not want is to have Crowley and Aziraphale being hostile towards each other the whole time. And then, like, in this scene, because I'm scared, this is the scene of, I'm assuming, not scared, that this is the scene of Aziraphale returning Crowley's confession. And if this is the ending, I'm going to be pissed. I did not wait 2 years to have my last shot of Good Omens be Crowley and Aziraphale being angry with each other the whole time. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way. This scene could, I guess, be at the end, but instead of returned confession, it's just now we finally get to live on heaven, or no. Now we can finally live on Earth, just the two of us, and we won't have to worry about anything, because that's all I want. If the ending is anything different for Crowley and Aziraphale, if the ending is even remotely different to the ending they had in the first season, I'm gonna be pissed. All I want is the two of them together, happily, living happily ever after on Earth with humans, that's what I want. If it's anything else, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be actually pissed. Legit. I'm going to be pissed. So if this is happening at the end and whatever, it better be, and now we can start a happily ever after. I've always loved you. But only if, like, I need them to love each other. Like, I cannot have them be angry at each other the whole time. Like, obviously Crowley's very, hurt and betrayed by Aziraphale, as he should be. And Aziraphale just cannot understand why Crowley does not see his point of view, so he's upset too. Not for the whole thing. Maybe for half. Maybe. But honestly, like, for me, I mean, I would like to see a bit of that. I think it's deserved. I think it would make sense. But no more than like a fourth of it, honestly. Like, I cannot have them be angry at each other. Like, maybe they could be angry, like, but maybe they can, especially Crowley, can put it to the side for the sake of the mission. I don't know, man. I just want them to be in love and openly, and I don't want to wait till the very end to see that. Like, they have to do it sooner than later, or else I'm gonna be pissed. But this scene, I mean, it scares me, man. Like, ugh. Because, I'm scared that it's gonna be what I don't want it to be. But even if it's that, obviously this scene's gonna mess me up. Like, it's just gonna be emotional. It's gonna be, like, I don't know, all of Good Omens is building to this scene right here. And I'm scared. Because this is very much an ending sort of, like, sorry, okay. I just, when, like, you look at your pet and, like, or, like, I don't know, like a family member or your partner, and you see someone and you love them so much and it swells up in your heart and, like, it hurts. That's what this does to me. Apparently, I don't have any person in my life for me to feel this to. That's a lie. I'm sorry. That's a total lie. But a little pathetic that I'm comparing that sort of feeling to this. But you know what I mean. Come on. You know what I mean. Come on. So, yeah, I'm just scared. And I don't know. Just, I can't look at this scene for much. Or I can't look at this shot for much longer without unraveling. So let's move on. And this part is interesting too. Like, where are they going? See, they could be going to heaven. I suppose that would make sense. Well, I don't know. I mean, that would do a beating on the Bentley, though. I'm scared. I don't want the Bentley to be hurt again. Like, maybe for some reason Aziraphale can't access heaven, so they have to physically get up there, which would be interesting. But I kind of hope they're going into space. But, like, why would they be going into space? What would they have to do in space? Nothing. But, so it's probably heaven, but I kind of hope it's space because I think that'd be fun. But yeah, who knows? Very interesting, very fun, very different. Just fun,
Any questions? No? Good. Right. Let's kick off the second coming.
See, then that's interesting too. Like, why is he saying that? He doesn't want the second coming, obviously. Either he's saying that because he's changed the second coming, the plan a bit to be what he wants it to be. Maybe he actually has that authority. Maybe he's just bluffing. And because I'm under the impression, the other angels, again, probably don't like him, even though, despite his promotion, especially Michael, who wanted to be in Aziraphale's position, but the Metatron said no. So I'm sure Michael does not care for Aziraphale right now. So yeah, are they, hey, this is the plan, this is what we're gonna do, and Aziraphale's like, no, I don't want that. Oh, well, that's too bad, Aziraphale, fuck you. Oh, well then, okay, then let's do it, jolly good, who knows. And another thing, I don't know when to say this, so I'll say this now. Another thing I'm kind of hoping for is, like, a cameo from at least one, if not more, of the characters from season 1. By that, I mean Athena, Adam. I think that'd be super fun. I think I'm just fangirling at that point. But I really want that. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, all in all, I think it's interesting how not only are they juggling the second coming, but they're juggling the Book of Life disappearing and all these disappearing parts of Earth and all these things. Why is that happening? Who is doing it? Maybe Jesus, maybe not, maybe, I don't know, Judas, who knows? Probably not. And what's Jesus doing? He seems to be doing his own thing. He seems to have gone rogue. But does that mean the second coming's happened and now it's happening, or what? What does the second coming, even if a second coming through heaven's plan, what would that mean for humanity? Because it seems to be world ending, so who knows? But mainly, I don't care about any of that. I just need to see Crowley and Aziraphale being their cutie little selves together forever. That's all I need. That's all I want. If I get anything less, I'm gonna be mad. Legit. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching. In a week from now, I'll look back on this video with eyes of truth, heart of burden, and a mind of yesterday, because if I could stay at this time forever, I'd be okay. That sounds a little messed up. I would rather, I'm not saying that I wish they completely canceled Good Omens, absolutely not. But the fact that this is the ending, it's the ending. It's not more, it's not new, it's the end. Oh my gosh. No. Maybe they'll make more. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope the finale is what I want it to be. We'll see. Goodbye.